Recently, I've begun to notice that some video game visual styles are so evocative that they become genres unto themselves. The visual aesthetic of a game is one of the most important aspects of it, drawing in fans on look, on vibe, and maybe even on nice water graphic. But watch out, I think Little John peed in it.
Hey, no, I didn't. Okay, maybe a little.
For some games, visual style is such a central piece that it becomes a pillar upon which the rest of the game is designed. Their style becomes their genre. There's neo-retro games confined to the past, surrealist games that warp reality, and flat minimalist games with stark imagery conveying somber tones. So today on Blurbs, let's look at games and the visual styles that form their genre. Neo-retro is a genre of games that don't just take inspiration from older hardware, but constrain their creations to suit that hardware. And first in that category is UFO 50. Here on Blurbs, we specialize in identifying unidentified flying. It was a brick. UFO 50 is 50 games, but it's also one game that you can play and it only costs half of 50. UFO 50 takes inspiration from consoles of old to make 8-bit games that throw you back in a time machine. Some of them are street-themed beat-em-ups, others mini Metroidvanias. All of them, though, constrain themselves to a time, a genre, and even a console called the LX, which doesn't exist but is kind of probably an SNES. The neo-retro style isn't just about aesthetics, it's about capturing the design philosophy of older eras while subtly updating them with modern pacing and polish. It's a love letter to the history of game development, but it's one that's fully aware of where we are now. Next, and one of my favorite games of all time, A Short Hike. A Short Hike instantly brings you back to the N64 days with its incredibly minimalistic UI, its vivid color palette, and its pixelated island setting. While A Short Hike isn't as strict on its commitment to the past as something like UFO 50, what's here is a beautiful, relaxing experience that reminds you of childhood. The sound effects have an analog twang, the scope of the world feels massive because of the fixed point of view, and every little nook and cranny is a joy to explore as you find collectibles and make your way to the top of this mountain. A Short Hike perfects this neo-retro style by being simple, peeled back, focusing only on the important parts which make you feel something deep in your core. It's an excellent game and one that every gamer needs to try out. It's time to put your $3,000 PC to the test by running a game on it that I could probably run on a smart fridge or even my Garmin watch. See? That's not how that works. I would say that of all the retro-inspired games I've played, Everdeep Aurora puts the most effort into feeling exactly like a game from the platform it's inspired by. If you owned a Game Boy back in the day, you can look at this game and instantly know what it's going for, from the way the lighting illuminates and pixels in as you approach it, to the way characters move and animate, even down to how the screen is constrained. It all feels like you're holding a Game Boy in your hand, but there's also a lot here that makes it stand out. So if you get a chance, check out Everdeep Aurora. It definitely hasn't gotten as much buzz as it deserves. The next category I want to discuss is Surrealism. Surrealism is common throughout horror games, but there are also quaint artistic experiences that use Surrealism for comedy or for mystery. And first in that category is Kentucky Route Zero. At times, Kentucky Route Zero feels more like an art installation than it does a video game. There's this quiet sadness that comes through each area of the game as the muted sounds and music often give way to rising choruses of beautiful scenery. There are mundane moments, strange moments, and beautiful moments as you explore this point-and-click adventure. It's a love letter to the underrepresented South. The surrealism isn't loud or flashy, it's subtle, it's dreamlike, and often it's unsettling, like reality slowly unraveling at its edges. Time bends, places shift, and characters speak in poetic fragments, creating a world that feels both haunted and deeply human. And while Kentucky Route Zero is strange and beautiful, in the Stanley Parable, I let this baby go into a fire. I'm not a good person. The Stanley Parable is a funny game over anything else, but it's an undeniably surreal and strange experience. There are long, drawn-out silences, aided only by the humming of computers and the annoyed voice of a narrator. There are strange misplacements, times of boredom, shifting realities, and impossible blueprints. It's an office space that makes no sense as the narrator constantly changes the rules around you, and you make decisions which have altering effects upon the outcome of your story. While jokes constantly ring out, there is always an underlying unsettling nature that makes this game's surreal vibe its standout feature. Finally, in this category, I have to talk about the game that inspired so many of the Surrealism puzzle games we see nowadays. Myst is iconic, and while the new updated version of the game definitely has its pros, I prefer the old one and the point-and-click weirdness of its style. There's something warm but unsettling about the empty feeling of the world of Myst, the music backing its ambiance as you slowly peel back the layers of its story and of its world. Finding every secret in every area is a monolithic task as you search for buttons and read through journals, running into weird areas, some with rotating levels and others with magical floating faces.
Oh, hey, it's me. I'm the face here in Myst. Okay, see ya.
There's just so much to this island, and playing it always fills you with an unbridled sense of nostalgia, even if you had never played it before. The final category for today is Flat Minimalism. These are games that convey beautiful imagery and intense emotion through flat texture and strategic utilizations of color. And first in this category is Inside. You could say Limbo for this one too, but I personally feel more immersed in the strangeness of Inside's world. From the moment you fall down into the forest to being chased by dogs, Inside offers a muted visual style, but one that even with its lack of detail creates an immense feeling of immersion. As light trickles through a dark canopy, fog obscures eerie cornfields, and patrols rumble behind you. As simple as this flat minimalist style is, it feels so grounded. Every silhouette, shadow, and splash of red is deliberate, making each visual cue feel loaded with tension and meaning. The minimalism doesn't just strip away distraction, it sharpens your focus, drawing you into Inside's unsettling atmosphere. Then we have Proteus. At first glance, Proteus doesn't give off the high level of vibes that many of the other games on this list do, but upon entering its world, experiencing its sights and sounds, the level of immersive transportation becomes apparent as one of the best. This is mainly down to its reactive nature. With such a simple visual aesthetic, flat minimalist games have to do something to stand out. With Inside, it was lighting, but with Proteus, it's motion. It's the way objects flutter around you, the way the sun rotates above your head, the way light peers through each space, and the way everything acknowledges your existence. I've talked about Proteus before, but it's a game that makes you feel like you're in nature because it mimics the way the world acknowledges you. It's a strange game, but it's one that's truly magical and something that everyone should experience.
And I'm here, so if you play, you get to hang out with me. Hey, wait, no, come back.
The final game I want to talk about today is Thomas Was Alone. Thomas Was Alone utilizes its flat minimalist style to create an emotional and mechanical core. Each of its characters are represented by simple colored rectangles, yet through animation and narration they come to life. The simplicity of the game's visual design pulls the player towards level geometry and character movement, making puzzles feel clean and deliberate. Adding to this, the muted color palette and relaxing calm music create a reflective and meditative tone that allow you to think about the ongoings of the game's story. In this way, the game's flat minimalist style serves entirely to aid the player as they focus their attention towards the game's enthralling narrative. So those were some visual styles and the games which utilize them that are so powerful that they create their own genres. There are more though. From the Baroque-inspired musical games to hand-painted or pencil-drawn games, there is a bevy of visual styles so unique and so interesting that they form their own genres, so maybe I'll have to make a part 2. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this little journey we went on, and I hope you check out some of these games. That's all, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.